welcome to the podcast project brought to you by yours truly, Chris Frank. Today we're going to be talking about really just the history of what my brother and I grew up with. How my brother John, say hello, John.
Hello.
How we kind of learned music growing up and kind of what we do now. So a lot of video games, rock climbing. So John, welcome to the first episode of the podcast project. How are we doing tonight on this lovely Thursday evening?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Doing all right. So, our first conversation topic would be, how did you kind of? I know you were pretty little when you started to play guitar. So, what was the first indicator that you really wanted to pursue it?
So I didn't really know that I ever wanted to pursue guitar till I was like probably like sixth grade. But when I was young, like I picked up a guitar before I could even talk.
Yeah, sure. You had that. You
Uh,
had that little guitar before you really
yeah, I had a
could
little
talk.
play
Yeah.
guitar, so I used to just fiddle around on that a whole bunch. Uh, and then while I was fiddling around on guitar and stuff, our Uncle Mark, he was there, and then
Didn't
he
need
really
the.
tried to get me to play guitar.
Yeah.
So then I started to learn some theory, and then I took lessons for a bit, and then I was also taking piano lessons too,
Mm.
as well, which that also cemented like my mind into music a bit more.
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
Yeah, all right. So,
yeah,
what kind of so you kind of got into it just based off you're just basically handed a guitar, and then as you've got older, you've hopped around to a few different programs. What were the name of the programs that you kind of, or how did you start learning?
alright. So learning guitar, right?
Yeah, 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 guitar.
Alright. So at first I was taking the lessons from, I forget his name, the one
Keith,
I think
what was his
Keith.
name? Keith or something like that.
Yeah, Keith. He was the goat. But I started learning with him, learned a bunch of the Beatles tunes, a bit of theory, and then I took a bit of a break, and then I joined up School of Rock with the Rock 101 program at first.
Sure, yeah.
Uh, and the teachers there, they don't really teach theory as much to like younger kids.
Mm-hmm.
They just do it when you're older. When you're younger, you just kind of just like just give you notes to play.
And when you're talking about theory, you're talking about like sheet music, right?
Not like music theory.
Just okay, all
It's
right.
like the whole system of how notes work together. Uh,
Could you kind of break down? Yeah, trying to break down music theory for us real quick.
so I don't really wanna. Okay, when you start out with theory, right? You learn the different scales. Uh, like for example, there's like Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian.
Mm-hmm.
Those are like the like the seven like basic scales basically.
Sure.
And with those, each one is a bit different. But for example, there's thirds and fifths and sixth and everything.
Sure.
And it's how you can use those notes together to make music basically. Uh,
Okay. Perfect. And then, so did you kind of like prefer learning theory more, or did you kind of like School of Rock's approach where they just toss you right into the music?
I mean, at the time, I like School of Rock's approach of just tossing you into music so you can like, because it really helps you with remembering stuff. I mean, like if I hear a song like I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 times,
Mm-hmm.
I've basically the whole thing memorized. So,
Sure.
and that it definitely came from the fact that I used to just have to memorize songs and then just play them instead of like reading them out on music like you normally would.
Sure. All right. So, kind of walk us through. Did you ever hit any roadblocks, like mental roadblocks, where you didn't feel like playing guitar anymore, or you just kind of you plateaued in a way, and you felt like you didn't have a way to motivate yourself?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I definitely think that I mean, there are times where like you grind out guitar or like any instrument for a bit, and then you're sort of just like, damn, I don't really want to do this anymore,
Yeah,
because your mind's just kind of roasted from doing it so much. So then you give it a break, and then your mind sort of processes all the stuff that you've been doing with it, and then you come back to it, and then you're better than before most of the time,
okay.
just because your brain is actually like processing all the stuff that you're doing.
Yeah, did you ever like take breaks ever or no?
Yeah, I definitely did. I used to skip like every other season. I would do a show instead of like every single season.
Sure.
Uh, and that was just for me, so that way I wasn't like always bombarded with School of Rock because it wasn't really what I. It wasn't my number one thing back
Sure.
then.
Yeah. So kind
But
of
it was definitely still fun to do. But then, for as far as plateaus go, I've definitely hit a few. Before I really started learning theory again, um, I sort of hit a plateau because it was just the same stuff over and over. And it's especially when you're doing stuff that you can't do is when you hit a plateau, because or when you're not doing stuff. When you're only doing stuff that you can do
yeah.
easily, that's where you hit a plateau because you're not improving at anything.
Yeah, sure.
Like,
Yeah.
but then once you try stuff that you cannot do, then that's where you sort of improve the whole
Yeah,
bunch.
that's where
Because
your brain starts firing more. And then
yeah,
you're just
exactly,
learning more.
and you start learning new techniques, like your brain's getting rewired and stuff. So
Interesting.
just doing more challenging stuff, learning more theories definitely helped me get over some plateaus.
Got you. And kind of moving on again. What kind of motivated you in a sense? Did certain people motivate you, or did you kind of just you pushed yourself to be better, kind of thing?
Most of the time, I just push myself just to be better. I
Sure.
mean, I still have to just do that still.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have to do it more by myself.
Yeah.
Just because I really think when you push yourself, that's like where you gain the most progress because you're willingly doing it
Mm-hmm.
and you truly believe that you have to be better. So then you genuinely try with your whole heart just to be better
Yeah.
in every way possible.
Yeah, and I feel like
I mean, just like if you're running, it like,
that's yeah. I was about to say like that's how it connected for me. Like you motivate yourself to become better, and you want to push yourself to be the best that you can. But there's people that I'm not gonna say will always doubt you, but they might question your ability, and you kind of have to you putting in that hard work and
you
training.
gotta prove them wrong.
You have to prove them wrong, and I've experienced that a lot. Like people have doubted me for sure, based on my ability, and I kind of, especially this winter, I think I really came out there and proved like what I'm capable of. Like, did people ever doubt you ever, or no? Do you think you were doing
No,
it?
not really. I mean,
It's not as
no, I,
competitive. It's not like competitive, I guess, in most
no,
senses.
it's not
Unless
really
you're like,
that competitive. I
yeah,
mean, if some other guy says, "Oh, I bet you can't do this on guitar,"
sure,
I'll probably try to do it, and then the thing is, most stuff on guitar doesn't really take that long to do. It's just about developing it enough so that way it's just fluent and how you can do it, like without planning it out.
mm. And like, what kind of just general curiosity here? Like, what kind of music do you like, or do you find the most joy in playing to? Like, do you find certain types of music are more fun to play? Like, you connect with that music more?
I definitely like southern rock music the most out of every other type. Um, I mean,
Is it like is it?
personally,
Do you find a better cultural connection with that kind of music, or
I just think that it has like a bit more soul and a bit more like meaning in the
sure?
music
Yeah,
instead of a lot of the new stuff where it's just seeing how quickly you can play or what type of techniques you can do the best.
sure.
And yeah, the old stuff just is how good it sounds, not how difficult it is to play.
I got you. Yeah,
instead of like the newer music.
And has music kind of shaped you into trying other like different things now, or I know you've done like rock climbing for a bit. Obviously, do you think guitar had a part to play in you starting to do that kind of thing?
Not really, actually. I mean, I I climbed a bit when I was younger. Like we used to have we had a few, I think two, yeah, probably like two birthday parties at that place,
Yeah, yeah. Downingtown Rock Gym.
and I was always like I was always pulled to climb. Like it just I was just attracted to it. Like I always
Mm.
just thought it was fun. I thought it was interesting,
Yeah, sure.
and I always thought it was just a good thing to do in general. So, and then I just went there another time, and then I'm like, yeah, I think I might try and do this more. So I just started doing it again. I got okay at it, uh, and then I stopped for a bit. I mean, not I'm trying to go more often now, but I just messed up my. I was gonna go a lot
Yeah,
this break, but I
yeah,
just messed up my shoulders. So
yeah. I feel that. I understand.
right before spring break.
Yeah, no, I feel that. But that's just about everything. All the questions I had set for you, and I just really like to thank you for joining us tonight, John. Had a great time talking about you and your experiences with guitar, and
Yep.
I hope
Thank
you
you so much for having me.
best of luck for the future. Yep.